My name is Anthony Salinas, and today I will be addressing question 2 of our discussion, which is summarizing Lombroso's research and answering, does current research support some of his findings? So according to the textbook Void's Theoretical Criminology, Cesar Lombroso utilized aspects of Charles Darwin's theory of evolution to argue that criminals were biologically underdeveloped, primitive, and less evolved than those who were non-criminals. Lombroso was a doctor in the Italian army during the late 1800s who, while performing an autopsy on a thief, noticed a distinct indentation on the thief's skull, which was similar to indents that he had previously observed in the skulls of smaller rodents. From this alone, Lombroso hypothesized that certain physical traits caused individuals to resemble primates, and thus meant that those who possessed said traits were less evolved and more prone to being brutish or criminal. To test this theory, Lombroso performed 66 autopsies on both deceased criminals and non-criminals to determine if there were any physical differences between the two. As he pursued his research, Lombroso eventually proposed that criminals who had varying degrees of physical traits could be categorized into 3 groups. First group were born criminals, or those who were seemingly less evolved. Insane criminals, which included those who suffered from addictions and mental disorders such as melancholy or depression. And finally, criminaloids, or those who did not exhibit primitive physical attributes but who were prone to engaging in criminal activities. His theory was similar to the theories of physiognomy and phrenology, where it was hypothesized that an individual's face or skull shape represented their mindset and thus reflected their attitudes and likelihood of being criminals. Toward the end of his career, Lombroso had moved away from his initial physical trait-based theories and instead started viewing the cause of criminality as being more complex and multifaceted, requiring further study into all aspects of an individual's life. Which brings us to the question, does current research support some of his findings? The answer is yes, some of his findings. While current research has disproven Lombroso's initial theories on physical traits being directly correlated to criminal behavior, there have been developments in researching the biological aspects of criminal behavior. As explained in the article, Neurobiology of Aggression and Violence, researchers have found that there are certain chemical imbalances and neurological deficiencies that can actually potentially contribute to delinquency, deviancy, and even criminality in individuals. There's also been further research that supports his later theories, which emphasize a more comprehensive sociological and environmental approach to determining the cause for criminal behavior and deviancy. The International Journal of Offender Therapy and Comparative Criminology described this approach as being positivist criminology, or the comprehensive model of criminology where an individual's proximity to deviance and crime, meaning how likely they are to be deviant or commit crime, are not inherently governed by genetic or physical factors alone, but are the result of multiple factors, including social isolation, societal pressure, antisocial behavior, environmental factors, and even mental disorders.